Yo, what is up everybody? My name is Virsu and you already know what time it is. We are back on Attack on Titan Revolution. So if you guys have been like a long-term viewer of the channel, or you guys happen to recently watch my videos, especially my last video on the best lean hard female Titan build in the game, you guys will know that one of the things that I tend to complain a lot about this game is how bad my luck is when it comes to getting rare items such as serums and especially mythic families. To give you guys a better idea of my luck in this game, I have done over 168 attack aberrant Titan raids just to get my first attack serum. I have used over 20 plus hours of luck boost and done hundreds of missions just to get my first armored serum, and I have done 190 plus female Titan aberrant raids just to get my first female Titan serum. And also I have spent thousands of spins to try to get my first mythic family, and yet I have gotten 0 mythic families. And I know there are definitely some people out there that have used less spins than me and have already got themselves a FRITZ, Helos, and maybe possibly even multiple Fritzes or multiple Heloses, and I'm like, what the actual heck? Why can't my luck just be like them? So knowing that my luck is pretty bad when it comes to using spins to try to get a mythic family, specifically the FRITZ family, I knew that my best chance of probably getting a mythic family is going to be by trading. And I know in my last video I did kind of flame some people for telling me that I should trade for FRITZ, and in response I said that I didn't have enough trade value for FRITZ. However, I later found out that I do have enough trade value for FRITZ, and let's just say I might now have FRITZ in my inventory. So in this video, I'll be telling you guys how I got FRITZ through trading, and to be honest with you, this entire journey was both luck due to the items that I decided to save up in the past, and also some very odd decisions when it came to the trade itself. So without further ado, let me tell you guys how I got FRITZ through trading. This whole journey of me getting FRITZ started one morning when I was getting ready for my day, and whenever I went to go check my Discord, I saw that I had a brand new notification saying that I have received a brand new DM. And typically, I actually do not get too many DMs from people, so I was very curious to see what this DM was really about. And it actually turned out that this DM was actually from a fellow viewer, and he was actually offering his FRITZ for my Toji outfit. And once I saw this offer, I actually didn't think that he was actually being for real and that he actually didn't have FRITZ, and you know, I was about to get trolled. So I asked him, are you being for real? So then he sends a screenshot of him actually having FRITZ in his inventory, and then I was like, okay, this trade is probably legit and that I should probably go for it. But then he says I had to pay a 50k gem tax just to receive a mythic family. Now, I am aware that you do actually have to pay a 50k gem tax if you want to receive a mythic family, but the main issue here was I didn't have 50k gems at the time. I had spent all my gems on prestige scrolls to try to get memories for my last video, which was the lean hard female Titan build, that I no longer had any gems in my inventory and I was dead broke. However, I did actually have 2 Toji costumes in my inventory, so I actually didn't mind taking up the trade because I'll still have a Toji outfit in the end. So I was like, I am down for the trade and I'll actually give the Toji fit too, but I'm gonna have to add some things because I'm broke on gems. So then he responded to my original message asking if I had 50k gems, and of course I didn't have 50k gems. So then I was like, hell no, and that I probably had to grind for a little bit in order to build up my gems. So then I got to grinding by doing Giant Force guard missions on the average difficulty, and after doing several runs of those missions, I began to realize that this entire process is going to take way too long. I can only earn up to 6k gems an hour by doing Giant Force guard missions, and if I wanted to get at least 50k gems, that's going to take around 8 to 9 hours of straight grinding these missions. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to do this because it's going to take way too long and it's going to take way too much of my time. So then it got me thinking, what are some other ways that I can build up my gems really quickly that I can realistically do at the moment? But then I remembered, after doing over 190 female Titan aberrant raids, I remembered that I had a whole lot of perks stacked up in my inventory that I could potentially sell and make a lot of gems from it. And after seeing such an amazing opportunity to get a lot of gems pretty quickly, of course I began selling most of my perks, mainly all of the legendary duplicate perks that I had, all my common perks, and some of my rare perks. And let's just say I made a pretty decent amount of gems in a short amount of time. Unfortunately, I didn't film like the entire process of me selling all these perks, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys like a before and after of like my perks inventory, and let's just say there is a pretty noticeable difference in my inventory, especially when it comes to like my legendary perks. I would say I made around 35k to 40k gems just from selling these perks, but obviously this wasn't the 50k gems that I needed, so I was thinking about adding some things to the trade to hopefully reduce the gem tax. Now, did I really have to add things to this trade? Realistically, probably not, but I just chose to anyways because I was starting to get pretty impatient, pretty lazy, and I didn't really feel like grinding as much to get more gems. And as someone who really doesn't trade a lot, I ended up suggesting that I add an armored serum and 7 prestige scrolls because I obviously had some prestige scrolls left over from the previous video, and I found out that the armored serum only reduced the gem tax by like 5k, and that prestige scrolls only reduced gold tax, which I didn't even know, which is honestly, it sounds crazy, I know. And this is when I low-key made a pretty crazy statement, and I asked how much did Onigiri Eren take off, and it only took off 200,000 gold. And you might be wondering what got into my head into offering Onigiri Eren on top of a Toji outfit for Fritz. To be honest with you, I was just getting desperate, okay? I was just getting desperate. I know y'all are gonna be like, what the actual heck? What is Ryosu thinking? Why is he going crazy right now? But yeah. So at the time, I was like 5k gems short, so obviously I needed to somehow cough up those 5k gems. So then I also remembered that I had like a whole lot of like artifacts left over, like rings, hoodies, and scars. So I decided to sell some of those, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw up like a screenshot of like a before and after of my artifacts inventory. And to be honest with you, it really did not take that much of a dent compared to my perks, but after selling all these artifacts, I finally had enough gems to actually do the trade. Alright, so here we go. Let's go ahead and start off by adding our Onigiri Eren as a mini gift, and now let's go ahead and add our Toji real quick, and lastly add the armor serum to reduce the gem tax. And here we go, we're finally gonna finalize the trade, and now we're gonna have Fritz pretty soon. Shout out to this guy for giving me this Fritz, and it's about to happen. 2, 1, and there we go, baby. And now let's go to our inventory real quick, and there it is, the beautiful Fritz. I've been waiting for so long for this freaking moment, and it's finally here, baby. Let's freaking go. So now it is official. I finally have Fritz after spending quite a amount of time playing this game, and honestly, I feel very happy for it. I'm very excited for all of the potential builds I can make in the future now. And I know that trade was probably a ginormous overpay, especially me adding that Onigiri Eren as well as that armored serum. But to be honest with you, did I really care about it? Honestly, no. I mean, I don't really use Onigiri Eren that much anyway, so I was like, why not just give it away to this fellow viewer for just allowing me to have this Fritz opportunity. Alright, so now that we now have Fritz, one of the things that I actually want to test is a female Titan build. So let's go ahead and actually make this build real quick. So first things first, we do have to equip Fritz, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. And boom, we now have Fritz equipped. As you can see, we now have 2 extra perk slots that we have to fill. So let's go ahead and start off with the support perk slot, and for this slot, we are going to be using Fonts of Inspiration because we are going to be using the Founder's Order skill from the Fritz family to buff ourselves and as well as healing ourselves as well. And if you want to get the most out of that skill, we are going to be wanting to use this perk right here. And now finally, let's go ahead and fill up that extra defensive perk slot. And for this slot, we are going to be using Immortal because Immortal will just help us stay alive overall. And if you guys are curious on the other perks that I am using for this build, for my offensive perk slot, I am using Black Flash because it will allow me to do more crit damage. And for my body slot, I did actually turn it into a second offensive perk slot where I am using Art of War because it does increase my shifter damage by 40%. And for my first support slot, I am using Soul Feed, so it will just help me heal overall. And for my first defensive perk slot, I am using Adaptation because it does allow me to adapt to the moves of other Titans, for example, Eren, Annie. So now moving on to the memories, these are the memories I'm currently using for my female Titan build right now. And to be honest with you, I'll probably still continue to keep these memories for now. And lastly, for my artifacts, I still am using the scars and the hoodie. And for my scars, I am running shifter damage right here. And for my hoodie, I'm also running shifter damage right here. And I'm also using the attack time mimicry right here. So now let's jump into a female Titan aberrant raid to see how well this build does now that I'm using Fritz instead of using Leonhardt. And for the modifiers, we are going to be using Nightmare, Oddball, both the injuries, fog, and time trial. And now let's actually fill up our awakening bar a little bit more. So let's go ahead and use our barrage skill right here. There we go. And we only hit like 2 of the rockets or thunder spears. That's pretty bad. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what just happened there. That was my bad. But anyways, let's go ahead and shift. Yeah, I don't know what I just did there, but and now let's go ahead and use our roundhouse kick. Boom. 1.1. Okay, that is kind of low damage. Okay, 1.9 with the side kick. Okay, and now let's go ahead and build up our M1 damage. All right, we have 300k average, 400k average. Okay, 500k. All right, we're getting up to that 600k mark, 800k mark, 900k now. Potentially 1 mil. Potentially, who knows? Okay, doesn't look like it. So right there, we were averaging around 600k M1. So to be honest with you, not really too bad. Let's go ahead and use our Shriek, which should also activate our Founder's Order. So now let's use our sidekick right here. Only 1 million, that's kind of bad. But anyways, let's go ahead and rebuild our M1 damage. So Looks like we're now averaging around 500k. Hopefully get that up to around 700k. There we go. 800k. Potentially 900k. Let's see. Come on now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and use our roundhouse kick. And just absolutely missed that kick. Let's go use that side kick. 1.9. Okay. Let's go ahead and build up our M1 damage again. So 500k. Hopefully get that 600k pretty soon. Come on now. Actually, he is about to die pretty soon. And there we go. And now let's go ahead and rebuild our M1 damage. So starting off around 200k. Getting that up to hopefully 400k pretty soon. There we go. 500k. Potentially 600k. Who knows? Alright, there we go. 700k. There we go. Now let's hopefully get 1 mil, because I'm really trying to see that 1 mil. Come on now. Please give me that 1 mil. There we go. I'm pretty sure I just saw it. There we go. I think we just got 1 million M1s. So honestly, not too bad. But let's go ahead and see what we get from this free chest. Hopefully a serum. Let's see. Okay. Okay, Tyrant Stare. And a rare perk. So honestly, pretty mid free chest. But let's see, we finished that in about 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Not too shabby, I would say. So overall, there's definitely a difference. And I'm honestly pretty happy with it. Okay, 700k, 900k. Come on. No way. Please. Just give me 1 mil. All right, there we go. Yes, bro. We got 1 mil M1s. Oh my days, bro. But anyways, guys, this will be the end of today's video. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to press that like button, subscribe for more Attack on Titan leadership content. I still cannot believe that I now have Fritz, because I never thought this day would actually come for like a while. But now it's finally here. I now finally have Fritz. And yes, I know the trade that I did for Fritz might have been like a pretty crazy like overpay, but I honestly do not care that much. Like, I didn't really care about Onigiri Eren too much, so I don't really care about losing that much. So also, if you guys want to get closer to my community or even have a chance to talk to me or be in like future videos as well, make sure to join my Discord down below, because I do plan on hopefully doing something with it in the future. But hopefully Hilo soon, Shiki soon, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, peace, peace.